All right, take two. So I wanted to jump on and talk about something that really has me excited to jump on here. I saw an amazing post today, and I want to give um, that it's due. So it was written by Christy Schercher, Schecher. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but amazing writer and astute woman. And what she was sharing about in her post, which I completely agree with, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what I teach, um, is how she's been in a long marriage. Maybe 25 years, maybe I don't remember the exact number, but at least 15 years, if not, I think longer than that though. So she talked about how her marriage sucked, and people asked her, why did you even stay if if like you felt like your spouse wasn't, pulling his weight or whatever. And she said quite clearly, yeah, that might have been true. And like this was in her own words, but she basically said, I wasn't pulling my own weight either, And so it's so easy to look at your partner and to say they should be doing this. Now, especially my messaging goes out to women who are visionaries, who are in the personal growth world, the spiritual world, who are not strangers to doing personal development and healing work. Okay, so if you are not a woman who is doing that work, then this message isn't for you. But if you are, then you're going to find yourself very easily analyzing and assessing your partner because it's part of like your world. You may not do it for a living, but you are, you know, I would say consistently in the work, attending workshops, having those kinds of conversations of deep inner work. And so it's so easy to like start to see our partner and all of their funny ways of operating and start to be like, oh, that's their attachment strategy right there, or they're avoiding something there. And it's just, we can't quite avoid it sometimes once we become immersed in this work, but it becomes weaponized. And this is the problem, is like we think, well, my partner's not quote unquote willing to do the work like me. They're not going to the workshops, they're not reading the books, so they're the problem if we're experiencing any sort of dissatisfaction, disconnection, lack of intimacy, um, lack of sexual satisfaction, like all the things that we like complain about or want. We feel like, I want more of something, like this isn't satisfying. And what she said is it really comes down to she calls it sobriety, which is just like clear-eyed um, willingness to confront the places in you that aren't as evolved as you think. Like, I'll just say it. Um, Despite all the work I've done, my marriage has been the thing that has been the most humiliating. And thank God for that, because humiliation is really sweet if you let it in, and I mean humiliation not in a self degradation or making myself small, but in fact in a way that makes me feel freer, right? And I know you might be wondering, how can something that feels humiliating make you feel freer? But it's like um, it's because it's kind of like, when you make a mistake and you're like, oh, and you feel that kind of like a little bit of like embarrassment, but not shame, like I'm bad or wrong, but just like, eep, I did, this isn't who I actually want to be. This isn't actually how I want to behave. It's like a clean kind of like, oops, you know? And so, that's what I mean by humiliation, but to let that sensation in without spiraling into self degradation and shame and all that stuff, that in itself is an art. So I'm holding that for all people, that when if you're examining this in your relationship, please, with all the sweetness of humiliation and humility, right? Just to be like, whoops, this isn't actually how I want to show up in my relationship. I bet there's something else that I'm interacting with inside of this relationship that is um, contributing to the lack of satisfaction that I have. So I don't have tons of time today, but I just loved this post. So I'm going to put it, if she'd let me share it, I'm going to see if I can put that post up. But basically everything she said in there is like what I teach to people inside of marriage, so they don't have to like, she really did it a longer way. It was part of her path. But for those of you who are listening to my message, I would, this is an invitation to not have to slog through a torturous, longer roundabout way of creating the relationship that you would love to have. Um, and so, what else do I want to say about that? Oh, yes, and that if you believe your relationship is lacking, then it always will. So we create essentially how you relate to your relationship is how it's going to go. So if you are like, yes, there's something wrong in my relationship, or there's something wrong with me, or there's something wrong with my partner, there will always be, because you will always find it. And so it starts there, like the willingness to say, yes, there's something I desire to experience in my relationship that I might not be experiencing right now, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible or inaccessible. Perhaps it's accessible, it's right here, and I just can't feel it. Um, and B, I forgot B, but basically the willingness to create, to notice how you're in relationship to yourself, your partner, in this moment, and to the relationship itself, and decide that this is going to be the most successful relationship I've ever had. Even when I'm experiencing dissatisfaction, that's just opportunity for me to create satisfaction, right? It's like every moment is an opportunity to create what we would love versus saying there's something wrong here. There's something wrong, uh-oh, panic, all the things. And then we go into this downward spiral, and then we're trying to fix things and manage things and control things and heal things, and and it just, no one feels good, right? Because there's this feeling like there's something wrong. But if everything is always working for you, then there's nothing wrong here. There's just what you would love to experience. And oftentimes you'll find that exactly what you want to experience is right in front of you if you just softened and allowed yourself to receive what the moment wanted to give you, which is way more generous than you can see or feel when you're stuck inside of this construct that there's something wrong here. Or my partner should be doing this, and if they only did this, no, really, if they only went to this workshop, no, really, if they only read this book, then they would get it, and then everything would be better. And I get it, maybe that could be true. That is one possibility. But if you're holding like that's the only way that you're going to have the marriage that you want, then your partner is going to feel that pressure, and frankly, it's not allowing for the genius that could arise between the two of you to co-create exactly what you would love if you're saying the only way I can have what I love is if it looks like this. And as soon as you put that limitation on it, the generosity and the creativity and the co-creation that is relationship in every moment is not possible. It's killed as soon as you say it could only go this way. That's the only way it could be happy in this relationship. So of course, there's caveats and exclusions to what I'm talking about. If there's abuse going on in your relationship, like that's not something to necessarily to stay in. There could be opportunities, but a first thing is to become safe and have a specialist with those dynamics. That's not what I specialize in. But I'm talking about, relationships where sometimes your partner's just a jerk, or you're feeling like a jerk, or you just can't remember the last time you felt like you really wanted your partner sexually, or you really felt connected or deep or felt seen by them, and you're just kind of feeling like, it hurts, like I want more, but I can't. Something's wrong here. I want more than I have. Then I'm the one to support you with that, because that's exactly, I've been there many times in my 8-year relationship, 4 years married, and we are better than ever. Like there's just this way that the things that used to be like, oh, I don't know if I can tolerate this much longer, or like I keep trying all these ways to handle this behavior, and I don't like it when he does this or when he doesn't do that. And like it just was interrupting what I wanted to experience with him. And I finally got that it wasn't about him changing, it was like how I related to him and the situation at hand, and learning how to create with the moment without needing anyone to change. So if that sounds impossible to you, then let's talk. Okay, so you can book a call with me, and I can share. Actually, I don't really care to share like what I do. I want to help you, right? So whatever you're dealing with, bring it to me, and I'll help you actually see like, oh, this is what's going on. Oh, I see. If I'm standing from this point of view, of course it's going to go this way, and you'll see exactly why you're in the situation that you have. And then if there's a way that I can help you going forward, that's my programming. I've created programs all around how to actually have the love the satisfying love and sex that you want, then I might refer you to that if that feels like a fit. But again, this is just for women who are visionaries and who are have already been on the path of personal development and have done some healing work, because it requires a significant level of self-awareness and capacity to create safety in your own system to do the work that I do, because I would say it's some advanced stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm the woman to help you with that. So I'll put links in the comments so you know to check that out. I'm also going to do a free training coming up, so stay tuned if you want to learn more about what I'm talking about. All right, and if you know anybody who would benefit, send them my way, and we'll get them set up and out of the the hell of relationship dissatisfaction and um, wondering if it's going to work and second guessing everything and thinking maybe you're heading for a breakup, you know. And one of my goals is to prevent unnecessary divorce. Um, so wherever you are in that range, whether you just want to up level your relating or you're heading for a break, then I want to help you turn that breakup into a breakthrough. I can't guarantee the form, but I always guarantee the energy. So if you want to create a loving relationship with your partner, regardless of the form, it will happen. And the form will take care of itself based on what's true. But the love always, that's always going to remain, because that's just how love works. You can't kill it. So good news, right? All right. Thanks for checking in. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'm happy to respond. See you next time.